Namaste, friends. September 5th, 2023. We're in a little bit of a heat wave here in lovely Catonsville, Maryland. It's already 80 something at 7:25 in the morning. I ran the first mile of my walk, or maybe I walked the last several miles of my run, I don't know, but I ran the first mile of my walk, a little sweaty, not bad. Painfully slow. I am painfully slow. I am marking the changing of time, the changing of seasons. And when I say the changing of seasons, I'm not just talking about, summer into fall. I'm talking about this whole aging thing again, this whole postmenopausal woman thing again. Every day something comes up to me and I'm amazed. Sometimes I'm amazed that I am in, I guess relatively speaking, very good physical condition for my age. The things I do, I'm very fortunate that I work hard, and God knows I work hard to do it. There's an element of consistency involved in that. Good morning. So it's called putting in the work, putting in the time, just being consistent. Some people say just showing up. Half the battle's just showing up. And in a lot of ways that's true. Just showing up when I don't want to, showing up for my morning walk, showing up for that bike ride that I know is going to cause a little bit of pain. And sometimes the irony is I ask, why do I go out and do that? Why do I go out for these hard rides? It was always going up the hard run, now it's the hard rides. Well, now any run is hard, but why do I do it? And the answer's always been, so I can do it again. Hi, kitty. Oh, my pretty black kitty in the woods. All right. It's so I can do it again. I do it today so I can do it again tomorrow. And I think that's the kind of statement that you get it or you don't, I guess. So if I want to be able to do it, whatever it is, I have to do it consistently. Meaning when I don't want to, meaning when it's inconvenient, meaning when I'm grumpy. Last week I went out and it was a very grumpy mood after work. Didn't feel good, the whole gamut of grump. And I said, I am 100% certain that I will feel better after this is done. But I didn't want to do it. But of course, I did. Good morning. So I showed up for myself. And I did it. And golly, it was a beautiful ride. I mean, it was a beautiful evening. The weather was actually much nicer than I had anticipated. And I felt great. And I thought, there you go. Even when you're grumpy and you don't want to do it, show up for yourself. You won't regret it. Saturday, I had was it Saturday? Sunday? Golly lolly, what day was it? I guess it was Sunday. Yes, it was definitely Sunday. I have a bicycling event, a tour, coming up the 9th, which is this upcoming Saturday. Now, my work schedule and various other things, uncooperative weather, all of these things have prevented me from putting the miles in on the bicycle that I really feel that I need it. I'm riding well, I'm riding fast. However, this is for a distance from 20 to 30 miles. Well, this ride it's a metric centuries that's 62 miles. The ride's either 62 or 64, but you know what I'm saying. Right around that ballpark. So I thought, I better get out and do something, this Saturday. So I decided to go out for 45 miles. And, I went into it that morning, pretty good. I had ridden my bike Friday evening after work. Not hard, not far, 20 miles. rested for the most part on Saturday. You know, watched what I ate and drank, and I slept decent. And so Sunday morning we went out. We should have left a little earlier. We didn't leave until like 8:30, and it was already getting hot. I should have left much earlier, but yeah, we didn't know it was going to get that hot that quick. So we went out, and I noticed immediately in the first mile my legs were tired, and my brain's like, why? But it is, you know, sometimes you start like that. Well, I did 45 and change, 46 miles, a lot of climbing. It was rough. I made it. I kept a good attitude. We did stop for a Coke and a Snickers. I told my husband when he went we stopped at a convenience store, and we ran into another bike group, a larger group. So obviously this is a regular stop. I said, I need a Coke and I need something salty. So he comes out with a Snickers. He thinks a Snickers is salty. It's got salty peanuts in it. I'm like, I'm a salty ultra runner, literally salty ultra runner. Back in the day, I used to carry this little salt packs from McDonald's so I could throw back some salt when I needed it. Then over the years, you know, they had, oh, hello dear, oh, it's a buck. Had salt pills. And my favorite, you know, thing to get on the trail or during an ultra marathon or whatever is a handful of potato chips. Back in the day, God, I'm old, I'm saying it again, they used to offer boiled potatoes dipped in salt, where you would literally have boiled potato dipped in salt. Well, boo on that. So potato chips became my thing. Pringles, which I would never eat Pringles in the real world, but they were often at the aid stations, and man, they did the trick. Salty. So he goes in and gets a Snickers. Everybody loves a Snickers, but it really doesn't hit that salt button in me, you know? So I had some Coke and I had some Snickers, and we took off, and I had a great sugar rush and did well. And then we came to a point in the course. It was a little almost emotional to me because I used to ride this course when I was married all the time. And I would know how far I was from home every time. And I'm coming up this very challenging part of the course. And I was literally a mile from my old house. And I still had almost 15 miles to go to get home. I was like, oh my God. So that was kind of an emotional downer. And I mean, it was triggering in a lot of ways. And the sugar wore off. So I had my low spot after having that sugar rush from the salty Snickers. I had a massive sugar crash. And here I am at this point in the direct sun. At this time, it's about 89 degrees. And I'm climbing a hill on a road in direct sun. All the things you don't like to do. And I felt like I had nothing left. I guess a cyclist, I was bonking, or as a runner would say, I hit the wall. I was feeling very depleted. But chin up. I can't be that grumpy girl all the time, apparently, according to my husband. I shouldn't be that grumpy girl all the time. So I didn't grump, and I kept my attitude positive. Yay me. And actually, after I got up that big hill in the sun, it got better as the course got better. It just, you know, it was still a lot of climbing. We were climbing up out of a river valley, but we played it smart, and we took what we call this old trolley line that's been converted into a trail. We took that for the last climb out of the river valley, and it's a grind, but it's in the shade, and it's a long river, and it's got a lot of rocks. Actually, one section cuts through rocks, so it's nice and cool. So that helped me a lot, and so I did. I made it home, and I was fine. I climbed myself up the stairs, got a nice shower, got cleaned up, and we had a wonderful lunch. I had food in the fridge and made a great salad with fresh tomatoes, fresh homegrown real tomatoes, the ones that actually taste like tomatoes. And I had made chicken salad, and so I had a wonderful lunch, and I drank a lot of sparkling water, and had some iced tea. And then I don't know, I fell apart. Obviously, in hindsight, I more or less knew it at the time. I was struggling with the beginning stages of heat exhaustion. I did nothing for the rest of the day. I mean, nothing. I didn't move from the sofa. And Sunday I did the next day I did very, very little. So I finally got up and started working on my fall decorating and my crafts. So I was a good weekend and a scary weekend and a not so good weekend. All of those things wrapped up in one. Have to accept my limitations moving forward. I can't do what I used to do. And there's going to be consequences if I think I can just go out and hit 50 miles of a hilly bike ride in 90-degree weather. Come on. So, yeah, I've had a couple little things happen where I just feel, I don't know, I'm feeling the changes. And I know it's about time, because I'll be 60 on my next birthday, so it's about time. Maybe my expectations are too high. But by the time I went to bed last night, I had a little bit of a meltdown, a little stress meltdown, and what precipitated it was just insane. It was, my husband wants to plan a 4-day weekend for us to go to one of our favorite places along the Shenandoah and bike ride and, all the favorite things we like to do. And he just kept pressuring me. Every time I say I'll take a day off, and he says, well, can you take one more? And I just started falling apart. I just felt like, I've been working this overtime. I'm definitely burned out. And I have to figure out how to use the rest of my vacation days before the end of the year, or I lose them. And I'm in competition with the rest of my team, to get those days booked. So I'm trying to plan it. And he keeps changing what he wants to do. And then he gets upset with me because he's like, you just want to stay here. And when you take your time off instead of go away. And, sometimes I do just want to stay here. The whole thought of packing up and driving away for 3.5 hours just to, in a couple days, pack up and have to drive back. And, I'm exhausted right now. That doesn't appeal to me right now. So, yeah, the wheels started falling off last night. But thank goodness I did get a good night's sleep. And I'm heading to work today. And I'm going to put in for some vacation. And I started the day with my dear husband saying, I understand you want to stay home and you don't have to do that. You don't have to go away. So I'm thinking, boy, howdy. I would have liked to have heard that last night. I guess better late than never. Oh well. These are my first world overly bougie and privileged issues today with this aging thing. The aging thing and the partnering up and marrying somebody when you're old. Again, thank you. I'm grateful. I'm thankful. I'm privileged. I know this. But I need to talk this out, and this is the way I need to talk it out with myself, so maybe I can listen to it and understand myself a little bit better. And if anybody else were to listen to this at any time, I do appreciate it. I know I'm a rambler. Peace.